Take me out to the ball game.
Welcome. A bit of connection issues with this one, but I'm in a different place. I am on vacation, recording from a bedroom with spotty Wi-Fi. So we're gonna make do with what we got to get you guys an episode this week.
The grind
So,
doesn't stop.
How'd the guys do this week, Joe?
Okay. Negative on the week and
yeah,
all.
we got good connections going on now.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, this might be a struggle. Hopefully you guys bear with us. Once again, we're doing this for fun. Me and Marvin enjoy sitting down and talking baseball. He's unfortunately, like he said, on vacation, but still trying to get at least a decent episode out this week. So hopefully it's bearable. But on the Guardians front, we lost a series to the Rangers, and just today split a series against the White Sox. So I think that puts us second in the division again, but really good games as you expect in the division all the time. 1-run games all around. It just a fantastic series. Would have been nice to take the win though.
Yep. And the Tigers had a good week. We went what was it, 5-2? Let me look here quick.
Not bad.
5-2. So we take those. We not what my predictions were. Wait, was 5-2? Wait, that.
I think so. I think that gives you a point at the very
least.
least.
5-1. We went 5-1. No, because I predicted 4-2. We went 5-1. So better than the predictions. So, but we'll take that anytime.
Yeah, of course.
Take a better record than what we predicted. So I have a couple things I wanted to throw since it was All-Stars were announced, and I was curious because the Tigers, we have 3 All-Stars, and that's not including Skubal, and it's not including Casey Mize, but I think Mize should have been in it. But I was curious, having 3 All-Stars, and we are currently 10 games under 500. And I was curious how rare that was, and I couldn't get a great answer off of Google, but I did Google what's the worst record for an MLB team to have 3+ All-Stars, and I got the 2003 Detroit Tigers. The 2003 Tigers are like one of the worst teams in baseball ever. And prior to the All-Star break, we were 27-84.
Holy crap.
We ended that year 43-119, and we had 3 All-Stars that game. So
that is damn near historically bad. Wow.
I think it is. I think it is the worst season in baseball history, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I do think that the White Sox 2 years ago had 121 losses. If I recall.
It was the longest for a while. I think they might have got it, but either way, not good. It was the record at one point, if not currently.
Wow.
So So you guys also had 3 All-Stars, if I remember right.
Yep. We got Bazana, Kate Smith, and I am blanking on the third one because I'm a horrible fan.
Your starting pitcher, wasn't it?
Oh, Parker. Yeah, Parker Messick. Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
We
had Dylan Dingler, which we talked about how that should have happened. Yep. We had Riley Green making his 3rd straight. That's the first time that's happened for a Tigers outfielder since Al Kaline in I don't even know when he was playing, but it's been a long time.
I've never heard the name. Can't lie.
He is Mr. Tiger. He has a lot of the Tigers records. One of the best Tigers ever. Yep. And Kevin McGonigal is the 3rd one. Rookie. He All-Star games in Philadelphia. He's from Philly. He is the youngest Tiger. What was it? He's the youngest Tiger in 40 years, and he's one of 3 Tigers, 21 and younger, to ever get it. And I got a bit of a trivia question for you that I found on social media.
I'm ready.
So since 1933, there's been 2 rookies to have reached base multiple times in a game, 52 plus times before the All-Star break.
Wow.
Can you guess those 2 rookies?
Wow, that's way, way back. You said 1930 something?
Since 1933.
Okay. I mean, who had just absolutely fantastic rookie? I feel like Harper is a decently fair guess. No?
Nope.
Are either of these guys active players? Let me ask.
Yep.
Both, perchance?
Both active. Both active.
Both active players. Okay, who had absolutely fantastic rookie seasons? Oh, I'm gonna feel like a chump when you say these names. Give me Juan Soto.
Nope.
Okay,
Not
who
Juan Soto.
base? I need base hitters. I need average hitters. Maybe Ichiro.
Nope.
Short. Oh, he's not fucking active. What am I on? Give me a Vlad. That's the last
Nope.
guess that I got.
Nope.
Okay, I'm out of guesses then.
So the first one was Aaron Judge.
Oh,
He did it in 52 games. The second player, Kevin McGonigal, and there's 6 games left. He is at 52. Wow. So if he doesn't one more, he's past Aaron Judge for that.
that's fantastic company. And in episode 2, I made the bold claim saying that Parker Messick was going to be the American League Rookie of the Year, and I am currently and will be eating my hat on that one. I don't think anybody is beating Kevin McGonigal the way his season's looking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bold if it wasn't for what Kevin McGonigal's doing this year.
That's a good point.
Any other year, I'd say Parker's probably got it locked up.
Mm-hmm. But Kevin is top 5 in WAR for shortstops right now, and the company that he's with is fantastic.
I think he's probably top 10 in baseball or pretty close to it.
I bet. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little thing I saw on Instagram, and at the time he had done it 51 times. He did it today, so he's at 52, and there's 6 games left before the All-Star break, so he's got 6 more times he could potentially do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really, really good.
I'm glad he's on my teams.
I bet.
And got him on a long-term deal he'll be on us for this year plus 8 more years.
That is one that I do not see going bad. I'm surprised how many teams aren't. Maybe it's the players that are getting a little bit wiser to this, because 5 or so years ago, you saw a lot of guys who were taking those kind of trades. Like even before they made their debut, they were signing these 6, 8 plus years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Braves are really, really good with it. I know Ronald Acuna is on a very team-friendly deal right now. He signed that before his debut. And I get the appeal as a player. You know, you're just getting called up into the league. Somebody shows you $40 million guaranteed over the next 8 seasons is the big difference, and you're like, holy crap, that's a lot of guaranteed money.
Yep.
You take that. Turns out you're an all-star. You could have been making maybe $40 million a year. So it might come back to hurt them, but it won't hurt the Tigers. I can almost guarantee that.
Yep, and there was a lot of them this year. This year had a lot to start the year. There's probably 7 or 8, but prior to this year, it was kind of the lull of it from when the Braves did it back in, what was that, like 2018 maybe, something like that. But,
yeah, they went crazy. They got like 3 in 1 year. I'm pretty sure Ozuna, like I said, Ronnie,
Michael Harris.
Yep.
And I think there's somebody else. I'm sure that there was another one in there too. But yeah, they did it. Tigers did it with Colt Keith a couple of years ago. It's not really worked out. Where it's not really not worked out. He's been an average player. So
when you sign him for that cheap, it still works out.
Yeah, I think he's making right now. He's not making a whole lot, but in his like arbitration years, or I don't know how many years it is, but he's like making like 15 million, which is not.
It's not bad.
You like that's a risk you're willing to take, and who knows 100%. What things like that will change when it comes to the CBA and all that coming up. But we don't know.
Yep. That's not even worth talking about right now. That's just dread and doom and despair. So let's push that.
Yeah, unless there's some big news that might be something to bring up during early parts of the off season or something like that. So what do you want to start with today for our segment?
I kind of do want to start it off with my rake report of the week, actually.
Rake report. All right. Let's do it.
So, for people who didn't watch, Brian Rocchio had a walk-off home run. in the first game of the series against the White Sox, and that was a spectacular game. Like I was saying earlier, that I was watching that live, and holy crap! I mean, I got on my feet, I was fist pumping, I was excited. This is like 10:30 at night. I bet my neighbors hate me, but they got to understand a walk-off home run out of Rocchio. So hopefully the audio is not bad on this one, or maybe even no audio at all. But let's just go ahead and take a quick little peek.
That ball's crushed. I remember seeing it on Instagram.
Off the pole. Beautiful. And the thing that really makes your heart hurt for that situation is Brian Rocchio is born and raised in Venezuela. This is a week and a day removed from just the absolute tragedy of two huge earthquakes that happened in Venezuela. I don't know, not the stats that we want to talk about, but those were a 7.2 and a 7.5 magnitude earthquake, 40 seconds apart, 5 kilometers away from each other. I mean, that is just absolutely devastating. And, baseball is surely on the back of everybody's mind in a moment like that. And for Brian Rocchio to go out that and have a spectacular moment, and in the post-game interview, he said heart goes out to his entire country, his family, everybody. And you just got to love that for the kid. That just feels absolutely fantastic.
Yep, in the Tigers, I think it was a day or two after that happened, had Kyler Montero on the mound, and he went 7 innings, really good ball, and then Emmanuel De Jesus, who they both were on the Team Venezuelan roster for the World Baseball Classic, and they came in and threw. I think that was a shutout that game, like right after it happened. So that was whether AJ planned that to have them. I mean, he can't plan Kyler going that many innings pitching that well, but whether he planned to have De Jesus come in and finish that, probably a different score. It probably might not have happened, but I think we won that game like 8-0. But either way, it worked out well. So it was unfortunate to see, but baseball always seems to bring us together. And
but it's just a beautiful thing.
Yep.
But going back to that Brian Rocchio home run, like I said, that was a walk-off home run. Fun fact for you, I got it pulled up here. Do you want to know the last time the Guardians have hit a walk-off home run?
I'm gonna guess it was against the Tigers.
Was it? No, it was not against the Tigers, but it might as well have been, because this is in game 162 last year to clinch the division. Brian Rocchio hits in the 10th inning. You'll see it here. I mean, might as well have just shown the same home run.
It pretty much identical. Yeah. And that's a guy who's got like 10 not even 10 home runs on the year. This
was his 5th of the year last year.
Yep.
And he just, I mean, everybody who's a Guardian fan, it's Rocktober. That's what he does. He shows up in the postseason, and here he showed up before the postseason, and that's it. That's just what he does. He's got that clutch gene in him. He hits the ball off the pole when you need him the most, and that's Brian Rocchio. He could have the worst season of all time, but for some reason he shows up in October.
He's the best 9 hitter in baseball, I bet.
That I remember seeing from Kevin Kiermaier, if you remember him. He was on the Rays when they won the World
center
Series.
Fielder, yep, really good Gold Glover.
Spectacular defense. Yeah, I think Platinum Glover even as a center fielder. And I saw a quote from him saying once that his goal going into a season was to be the best 9 hitter in the league. And I respect that.
I was 9 hitter as well.
So much. You're a defensive first guy. You're gonna get put in the 9 hole. The worst you could do is be the best.
Yep, and I hit 8th hole a couple times, so we made it up a little bit.
It's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing. But that's my rake report, just showing off Brian Rocchio with the 2 most recent Guardian walk-off home runs right there. Just some good stuff.
Nice. All right, so we'll jump into my rake report. So I'm working on one laptop, so my stuff's a little not as going to be as smooth as in the past, but does that you can see that all right, Joe? I hope connection. Okay, so my rake report is the Tigers' starting rotation this year. In this week, we went 36 2/3 innings, and we've allowed 8 earned runs. That's good enough for 1.96 ERA. And if you look, let me sort here by starting pitching. Let's see, starting pitching. This is I doubt is going. So if you look at these, Casey pitched today, so he allowed 2 runs, but Framber Valdez is the lone exception, with 2 from Casey this week through 2 starts, 1 earned run from Skubal, 0 from Melton, 0 from Jack. We were on a roll, and let's see. I have, if you get rid of Framber's 5 innings, 5 ERA, 5 runs, that's going to be looking a lot better. 3 earned runs from outside of Framber Valdez start. And Framber's start ended a 35 straight start streak where the starter has allowed 4 runs or less.
Wow.
And we've done it 3 times since his start. So starting pitching, not just this week, but throughout the whole week, has been really, really good. And another thing that happened on, I think it was Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, so dip it into last week. It's the second time in American League history that the starter has gone 3 straight games, allowing 2 or fewer hits, striking out 9+.
Wow.
And last time it happened was the 2013 Detroit Tigers. And
of course.
If you know anything about the Detroit Tigers, is the 2013 team is the team we all wish we had back. 2012, they went to the World Series. In 2013 was probably their best year in their prime, and we got bounced. In interviews, like if you ask that team, if you ask the manager, Jim Leland, he'll say that that's the year out of all the years he's ever managed that he would want back to redo it, because that team should have won the World Series.
I believe I think I saw this stat earlier, that pitching one that you were talking about from 2013. I believe there was 2 future Hall of Famers on that pitching staff.
Yeah, Verlander, Scherzer, and Anibal Sanchez.
Wow.
And,
I mean, that's got to win a World Series simply, man.
And you want to know when those 3 games were? They were in the postseason.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, those guys. That rotation was Rick Porcello. If you know much about Rick Porcello, he run a Cy Young with Boston. It was a snub over Verlander. Verlander should have won that year, but that was when wins were still kind of looked at, and he had more wins, and it kind of went towards him. But we might talk about some snubs in future episodes in like the off season or something like that.
That'd be a really good idea. Yeah.
So jumping in and out, we'll go into my weekly whiff. So mine is it kind of goes along with, you kind of maybe saw it here. We'll start off with my little joke here. Cooper Inge, the Cleveland rookie.
Yeah.
He I think it was like his 4th game. He we'll play the clip right here. So there is 1 out in this game currently, and you guys are down by 1. And he catches the ball. Tie game. He catches the ball, thinking it's 2 outs, and throws it in the stands. You hate to see it. And,
I was watching this one live, and you could see the gears turning, and unfortunately, they just weren't greased up. He caught the ball lackadaisical, and as soon as he caught the ball, you just had a feeling he has no idea what's going on, unfortunately.
Yep, and I don't want to say luckily, but you guys ended up losing by 2 runs instead of 1. So that didn't cost you, might have cost you, but it could play out how the bullpen gets used and all the rest of the things.
Yeah, when you allow an completely unearned run.
Yeah, just completely.
Go ahead. In Cooper's defense, he is in the minor leagues. He was majoritively a catcher. I think not only majoritively, I think he was straight up a catcher. Yeah. And the majority of his games so far in the major leagues has been as a DH. So the little time that he gets out there in outfield, you see he's clearly just not comfortable.
Yeah, it's surprising he's in left and not right field. Not that in the majors it really matters as much as it does for like high school, but it's still kind of strange.
The funny thing about, I'm pretty sure it was this game as well. So Cooper Ingle, like I said, predominantly a catcher. In right field during this game, we had David Fry, who also catches. So I felt horrible for poor Stephen Kwan playing center field, surrounded on both sides by catchers. Like, here you go, Kwan, do everything, please.
Yep. So I have a different uh, weekly whiff, and that would be our bullpen. So I talked about the starting pitching,
Again.
and I'm gonna talk about the bullpen. The bullpen went 18 and a third innings and allowed 12 runs, which is good enough for a 5.89 ERA. We went 5-1, so it didn't really cost us. The one game where we lost, it didn't. It was the Framber start where he allowed 5 runs, so not really cost us. What I wanted to point out is something that made me frustrated in the time. AJ Hinch is a great manager, but sometimes I just don't understand. So we swept the Yankees this week, and it was Game 3, and we were up 2-0 going into the ninth inning. And he brought in Drew Anderson. I think he pitched the eighth inning, and he
Okay.
brought him back out for the ninth. He pitched. I don't remember how many. He pitched it pretty effectively, but Drew coming into that had in 14 innings he'd allowed 4 home runs in his last 14 innings. And what happened that inning? I have it here. Is we were up 2-0. He allowed a solo home run.
Mhm.
An error gets. Wait a minute. Let me see. Yep. So we allowed a solo shot. We then had an error, and then Jazz Chisholm got on base. Jazz stole second. Jazz stole third. Completely.
I was gonna say those. He walked to both bases essentially.
Completely off of the pitcher. Didn't even look at him one
Mhm.
time. And then a wild pitch, and they scored a run, and we ended up coming back and winning it. But we were up 2-0 in the ninth inning. Solo shot, and yeah, Drew Anderson came in again today when we were up, and he allowed another solo shot. So in his last 17 innings, he's allowed 12 runs and 6 home runs.
Oh.
In Drew, to his defense, he came over from Korea, and he had a slow start to the year. And then in May, when the entire team sucked, he was our best pitcher. I don't even remember what it was, but he went like 20 some innings without allowing a run. And then it was May 29th was when I first started counting those innings, and he's been terrible ever since.
It's a tough spot when a manager asks a reliever, a closer, to make that 4-out or 5-out save.
Yep.
It's very, very tough. Starting pitchers, they work their entire career to get used to sitting on the bench and coming back out and pitching again.
Yep.
And for relievers, 99% of the time, they go out, they pitch their one inning, they dump all their adrenaline, they waste their arm, and then they're done for the day.
Yep.
And when you ask a guy, a reliever, to go sit down and do it again, I mean, it's just a tall ask, especially in a close situation.
Yeah, and the Tigers ask relievers to do that a lot. They eat up a lot of innings. They have guys that'll eat up. Drew Anderson's one guy that they do it with. He'll eat up 3 or 4 innings, and there's 2 or 3 other guys the Tigers do that with. But it was kind of hard to see, especially. I mean, I don't know who else you would bring in, because Kenley Jansen's been bad. He got a save today, so I mean, he's going to get them. But he didn't bring him in, and he had like a day or 2 of rest, so it's not like he pitched the day before. Kyle Finnegan's been bad. Will Vest is on the injured list now. There's just been we've talked about it. Our bullpen's been really bad.
Yeah.
When
you were talking about those starting pitcher stats earlier, I was like, how are you guys not winning more games? And I completely forgot that there is a second half of your pitching staff, unfortunately.
Yep. Connection's been a little bit of an issue here, but hopefully it'll get better. It was better for a minute there, but we got a storm going on right here too.
Oh, perfect.
Yep, we got a good combination going on. So yeah, it's Tigers bullpen's been rough. It's been solely on the starting pitching to carry it. If the starting pitching just doesn't go 8 innings, I'm scared. I mean, even today we were up 6-1, allowed the solo homer, and I was still worried that we were going to blow it. So
scared about blowing a 5-run game. Ouch.
I think it would end up being 6-3 at the end of the score, and Casey Mize allowed 2 runs. So yeah, it was I get scared, especially when our offense is inconsistent as it is.
hmm hmm
So we'll jump into your weekly whiff.
Oh gosh, not to keep piling on to poor Cooper Ingle, but it's Cooper Ingle. Yeah. Cooper Ingle, affectionately known as Cooper Single, because in
Yep,
his 20 plate appearances, he has one hit, one single.
nice,
That's it. That's it. He is
nice.
officially Cooper Single. That is a good for a .059 batting average. That is very, very bad. You go over to his more advanced stats. He's striking out almost 50% of the time. We've been seeing this number a lot. That
Mm-hmm.
the close to 50% K rate, and that's
Yep.
just really not good.
No, it's not.
The really interesting thing for me is that his walk rate, once again, only 20 plate appearances, so a really small sample value that we're picking from. His walk rate
Mm-hmm.
is 15%, which is really good.
Yeah, that's
But
like best in baseball dang near. Kevin
as
McAdwell, I don't think is at 15%.
as a minor league, I looked at his minor league stats a lot. He was OPS like over 800. His batting average
Mm-hmm.
is over 300. You figure a guy like that gets up to the league in the DH position primarily. You figure he wants to swing the bat. He
Yeah.
wants to mash, and he's up there. He's taking pitches and he's hitting one single. Yeah, it's just really not good. If I flip over here to his Baseball Savant page, once again, he hasn't qualified for a lot of these. But for our listeners at home, that is a lot of blue, and that is really, really low blue. Those are probably like 5th percentile in all of his expected and barrel percentage, squared up percentage. He's just the only thing that is really good red is his walk percentage, and I don't understand it. I'm sure he understands that as soon as Angel Martinez comes off of the injured list, he's most likely the first one to go.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not just swing the hell out of the bat, man? This
Yeah.
is your one chance. You're getting sent down. It's almost inevitable. Not even because he's playing bad, but just because he's
Roster.
here to fill a spot.
Mhm.
Simply. So go up there and swing the bat, kid. That's just what I want to see.
I watched him. I was at a Legends game probably 3 weeks ago now when they were playing against you guys' AAA team. And I saw him there and I saw his stats. I'm like, oh, this is a guy that might come up and might contribute to you guys. And not so
Unfortunately
far.
not. Yeah, Cooper Single.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really. I'm sorry to just keep piling on poor Cooper Ingle, his bad defensive play and now his stats in general. But hopefully Angel comes back soon, because as much as I was so excited to see this kid get a shot, and I was so confused when the Guardians went and signed another catcher, because I was like, why? What are we doing? We have a catcher that's mashing. He's not mashing in the major leagues,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Yep. So before we get into our Beyond the Bunt, there was something I wanted to show you, and it was a catch that Riley Green made today. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram or not.
I don't think so.
So I want you to. Does this catch remind you of anything?
Oh,
think of it
wow.
as think of it as going to a right-hander. Since Riley's a left-hander, think of it as a right-hander going towards the corner. Does it remind you
yeah.
of any catch?
Last time I saw something like that, I believe a man shattered his collarbone. Shattered.
That is the exact what I was. This is when I saw this, I'm like, this is like dang near the exact same catch that I made, catching your ball that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh. I think
And-
maybe this is just me looking at it with rose-tinted glasses, but I think yours was better. I think you caught some serious air.
Yeah, I'm trying to playing it in my head. I feel like Riley was kind of like this, kind of like, I don't know what angle
Coming in a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like I was more like going away from me, like putting my back toward home plate if I am replaying it correctly in my head.
Oh yeah, he just tumbled a little bit better.
Yep. I when I tumbled, it was directly on the collarbone. He kind of took it in the shoulder and rolled a little more gracefully, I suppose. But,
that's a spectacular catch.
As soon as I saw that catch, I'm like, that's gotta be damn near what my catch looked like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I knew you would be able to pick it out as soon as you saw it.
Yep. Yep. Just going the other way. That's the only difference.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Wow. What a catch,
So
though.
for my beyond, yeah, it was a hell of a catch. For my beyond the bunt, I I was looking at the team with our bases loaded and just runners and scoring position in general stats because Riley Green is one of our three All Stars we talked about, and his OPS is above 800. His average
Not
is
bad.
almost at 300. He almost hit for the cycle today, and they came up on the bottom of his stats when he came up to plate the one time about his numbers with runners and scoring position, and he's batting like under 700 OPS wise.
Hmm.
So that got me thinking. I mean, I know what it feels like whenever the Tigers got runners in scoring position, especially in May, that nothing's going to happen. So I was curious. So I looked into the numbers with what it looks like. So let's see, where is it? It's under here. So this is the Tigers this year with runners in scoring position, all of us. So we have our leader with runners in scoring position is Dylan Dingler.
Adds
Terry
up.
Carpenter is up there as well. But I wanted to look at average. Hal Yu Lee doing good. Spencer Torkelson, surprisingly, we talked about him with bases loaded, how it was not very good. What if you scroll down and look for Riley Green? He's batting 224
Mm.
with runners in scoring position. Not great. Let's see. Look at some of these advanced stats. K rate. Let's see. Riley Green is 35.4. In Torkelson, he's 30%, but he's got an 18% walk rate, so he's doing
Okay.
good. Most of these guys up here are guys who haven't hardly been on the team.
Yeah, a lot of
But
low
just
plate appearances.
looking at the OPS, so not a lot 12 play appearances here, don't matter. Torque has actually been really good. Dylan Dingler, who leads all of baseball with 2 outs RBI, with 2 out RBIs, I believe.
Interesting.
So he's doing really good. Kerry Carpenter's been really good. Kevin McGonigal. And then it just kind of drops off. Riley Green's 634, McKinstry 615, and it's just not the greatest. So then I wanted to look at the team with what the team with running scoring position is. So if you look here on Baseball Reference, who's home runs? Where do we rank home run wise? We are 20 home runs with runners in scoring position,
Oh,
8th worst in baseball. I will say better than Cleveland.
yeah. Well, we just
When we
don't
look at
hit home runs,
RBIs,
period. So
we are second worst in RBIs when it comes to runners in scoring position. When it comes to
yes. New
strikeouts,
York Mets, by the way,
we're about
is
middle of the
dead
pack.
last.
Yep. Strikeouts, we're pretty much middle of the pack. Where are we? I'm right here, 22. So not really middle of the pack. We're 8th worst. Batting average, we are 4th
Oh,
worst. Cleveland's at 2nd. Yeah.
man.
So you're kind of getting a little look at these numbers too. It's very similar. OPS wise, we are 5th. Cleveland is 4th. We just
Man.
have not done anything with runners in score position this year. We are pretty much, but we are bottom 10 in pretty much every category with runners in scoring position. And it's not what you like to see, but when you think about it, a team that's got a positive run differential, I think we are plus 11 right now.
Really?
We are 10 games back,
Mm.
and it's with some of the other things we talked about, the bad bullpen and the inconsistent hitting. Well, inconsistent hitting can lead to bad runners in scoring position. And I just looked at because I was curious on kind of where we were at, and it was worse than I thought, to be honest with you.
Hmm. I'm surprised how many of those stats the Guardians were worse than the Tigers even.
Yep. And yeah, I didn't look into it any further. I wonder what the BABIP like and stuff like that, and some of the underlying numbers. Those are just the basic numbers. But yeah, that's my pretty quick since as we talked about last week, we got a lot of stuff going on, so we are
Mhm.
kind of not quite as in depth into stuff as we typically were in the first couple of weeks. But yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll jump
I
into
do
you,
have to
Joe, for
ask you
your
though before we get too far into mine.
yeah.
How do you feel about runners in scoring position as like a stat to really get a feel on a team? You know, because you listen to a broadcast and it is brought up essentially every single time that there are runners in scoring position. You see either the
You
teams
know,
or the individual players, and I just wanted to get kind of your way on that as evaluating a player entirely.
I I don't know about more as evaluating a player as more of evaluating a team. Because I mean, a player can just have. I mean, we've talked about torque in the past. Like his, I could bring it up. I had it up earlier that his batting average. He's got one hit all year, I think, with bases loaded. When you look with runners in scoring position, he's one of the best on the team. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. I mean, there's the clutch trait that people bring up, and yeah, it's important to be clutch, but I feel like it's less about evaluating a player as it is evaluating a team. If if you're a good team, having hitting with runners in scoring position, generally you're really good at. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
bad team, you're generally bad at it, and it also, in our case, it'll show why a good pitching team is in a decent hitting team. But if you don't capitalize with runners in scoring position, why you're 10 games under 500 like we are?
If you had a choice, and we're talking about just batting in a complete vacuum, if you
Yep.
had a player that batted a career 200 but was 400 with running and scoring position, do you like this player?
Probably. I mean, I I wouldn't say I hate him.
Hmm.
Like he's
It feels
probably
good to watch until
if
you
you're
really look at the numbers.
if you're batting 400, that means you're with runners in scoring position. That means you probably got a good amount of RBIs.
Hmm.
So your RBIs are going to be, excuse me, your RBIs are going to be good. So run scoring is the name of the game. So if you could be under the Mendoza line, but if you're getting it done with runners in scoring position, that's fine with me, I suppose.
See, you see broadcasters. I want to say one of the Cleveland broadcasters, or maybe just one of the guys that they occasionally have on, is an avid RBI hater. He hates RBIs as a stat. He thinks it is completely circumstantial and it doesn't really say anything about a player, which I think he gets right to an extent.
Yeah, I
Like
don't completely disagree.
a great player is going to get hits
Yep,
all the time,
yep,
but not necessarily have runners in scoring position all the time, you
yeah,
know? So like RBIs don't necessarily tell the full story. And I get where he's coming from on that standpoint.
yeah. Like Kevin McDonald, he doesn't have hard very many RBIs because he's batting one or two pretty much all the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
And we've talked about some of the people in our lineup are 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters are not hardly getting it done. So whenever he's doing anything, it's it's
He
just
is the
all
setup
by
man.
yeah, yeah. So it's a cool counting stat, but like if you're looking like sabermetric wise and stuff like that, like we try to do, it's not really that important. I mean, it's cool for the Triple Crown. It's cool for saying he got 2,000 career RBIs or
Hmm.
whatever it may be. But it's not, when you're evaluating a player, you don't look at RBIs. You look at home
Yeah.
runs. You look at
It
on base percentage.
tells a story, but
Yeah.
not necessarily tells you how good or bad a player is
Yeah.
specifically on that.
Yeah, like Dylan Dingler, like I brought up earlier, he's best in baseball with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. But I could tell you he's just, I mean, he's getting it done. Would he get those hits if there weren't in scoring position? Does he change his swing to try and just slap one in? I don't
It's
know.
hard to say. Yeah.
I'm sure the mentality definitely changes with runners on base for RBIs.
Hmm.
Like you're not gonna if you're gonna try for a home run if you're gonna, I mean, depending on game situation, you're gonna choke up on the bat, try to get the guy in, try to move the guy over, things like that. Versus base is empty. But I mean, it changes the game, but it's not really a great way of evaluating a player.
I'd have to look this up separately, but I would like to see the difference between like Kyle Schwarber's runners in scoring position versus not stats, because I'm pretty sure he takes the exact same swing every single pitch, and it is home run or bust.
Yep. That. Yep.
But getting into my Beyond the
Yeah,
Bunt, so I
might be
got a
able
lot of
to
feedback. Oh,
change.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, a little bit of spotty connection. So if we're talking over each other or seeming a little bit cluttered, that is why. But last week I went really, really deep into hitting stats, and I got some decent feedback. Some people said that I actually helped with at least one or two things. Maybe not like the crazy sabermetric stuff, but at least some of my friends and family did say like, "Hey, I understand this better than I did previously," and that's the goal.
Yep.
If you guys don't understand all
Yep.
the full sabermetrics, it's whatever. Like especially the formulas are weird. As long as you
Yeah.
kind of understand what the stat is trying to say, then I feel like I've accomplished my job. So
Yeah, but
like I was
I
saying
don't know
last
what
week,
half the formulas are. It's just more about what does the number mean.
basically, yeah. As long as you understand what they're attempting to say, then you got it. But last week I spent a solid 30 minutes talking strictly on. Yeah, it went a little longer. It's a lot more rambling than I would have
It could
liked.
have been a lot longer too. Is the thing.
Oh, trust me, it could have. But this week we're going to be tackling the pitching side of stats. And luckily for you guys, once again, please don't zone out. I promise there will be something useful, something to take away. And luckily for you guys, pitching stats there's a lot less. There's a way lot less. When it comes down to pitching stats, when you're evaluating a pitcher, a lot of those deep sabermetric stats are actually how are people hitting against them. So refer to last week's hitting stats for most of our pitching stats. But I do have a lot of notes here right now for all of our viewers at home. I do have probably my favorite Guardians pitcher right now, Parker Messick's Baseball Savant page pulled up. And the real thing that I want to highlight here is over on the right, we have a pitch movement chart. And this is really, really fun. Basically, what this does is it shows each pitch type. It shows you the MLB average is this little hatched area behind, and all the dots are where his pitches are going. So you see right here, his cutter, it has a lot more arm, or this would be glove side break because he's a lefty. But yeah, once again, back to pitching stats. So this is a really fun thing to look at just to see how much their pitches are moving compared to the league average. One really fun thing here, you see a lot of his pitches are actually above the midway point. You're like, pitches don't rise, right? And to an extent, you are correct. You're not going to see somebody throw a fastball that literally rises. But what people like to use instead is they refer to it as induced vertical break. And what this is essentially your fastball normally has so much spin on it that rather than physically rising, it is kind of stopping gravity. There's so much spin. That's what we refer to as induced vertical break. Not necessarily a rising fastball, but to the hitter, it seems as though it is rising. It's not dropping as much as you would assume, thanks to the spin.
And that's why you see fastballs on the top of the zone. Hitters are swinging at those a lot of the time and missing because they think it's going to be right there, and then it's actually up here.
Yeah, I actually asked my girlfriend about this the other day. I said, "What?" Because she's not a huge baseball fan. I said, "What makes more sense to you? A guy swinging at a pitch a foot above the zone or below the zone?" And I bet that if we survey our audience here, probably almost everybody would say it makes a lot more sense to see somebody pitching or swinging at a pitch that's a foot below the zone.
Yep.
Because you see a breaking ball, and with gravity, that pitch looks like a strike 95% of the time and then drops out of the earth.
Yep.
So it really brings up the question, why are these guys swinging at these pitches like this? And that sum it up to induced vertical break. It looks like it's coming in real nice. You think it's going to drop right into your barrel, and it just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. Not literally, but more than it would seem it should.
Yep.
So that's kind of all that we're going to look at Baseball Savant. We'll get into a little bit more of the actual.
Do I see he has the best fastball in baseball?
He does. He has 100 percentile fastball run value.
That means he has the best fastball in baseball.
These run values, they're a little bit fickle about how the calculation comes to these. I might get into it a little bit later when it comes to the WAR. Yes, there is pitching WAR. But yeah, essentially he has the best fastball in baseball, to chalk it up.
Yeah.
Parker Messick, rookie, by the way. Okay, so as we were saying earlier, kind of starting off with more basic stats. So everybody sees, you put a picture on the screen, the first thing that they show is their win-loss record. In a win-loss record, overrated, heavily overrated.
We talked about it earlier.
A lot of people don't even care about win-loss record for a pitcher anymore because it's weird.
Yeah.
So for a starting pitcher to qualify for a win, you must pitch at least 5 innings, and your team has to take the lead in that half inning that you pitched.
Yep.
So you could pitch an absolute gem. You could go up there and have 5. You could have 9 or 8 2/3 perfect innings, and you let up 1 run in the bottom of the 9th, and you have a loss on the day. And back 50 years ago, all that people would see is a loss, and they don't care about anything else essentially.
Yep.
So win-loss for starting pitchers, very straightforward. Relieving pitchers, though, can also qualify for a win, and this is essentially the same. They are the pitcher at the time that your team takes the lead. No qualifying amount of innings pitched. Mm-hmm. So you could go in, you could throw the 3rd out of the 6th inning. Your team comes in and takes the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. You have now qualified for the win.
Yep.
I'm sure you know this, Marvin. Do you know who leads the league in wins right now as a pitcher?
Oh boy, I don't know this off the top of my head, but I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna guess it's a Dodger.
Nope.
Not a Dodger.
And it's not a starter either.
Not a starter. Oh, that's
makes it really tough.
Oh boy. So it's probably a closer that a team comes back a lot in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh geez.
I'll give you his nickname if this helps.
Oh, it might.
They refer to him as the Vulture.
That is a great nickname.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who that is. I'm gonna guess Cade Smith just because.
No, Cade Smith doesn't have a lot of wins. He has a lot of saves, but you cannot qualify for a win and a save at the same time. It's one or the other. Yeah, kind of lame. But it's Aaron Ashby of the Milwaukee Brewers. He has 12 wins on the season.
And he's not even their closer, I don't think.
No, he's not.
No,
they call him the Vulture because he gets into games and just like his team is losing, he pitches 1 single inning. His team happens to take the lead, and he qualifies for a win.
Yeah.
He steals wins. He's a Vulture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jack Flaherty for the Tigers is like 1-9. And the broadcast talks about when he got his first win. It's like, oh, must feel so good to get that first win. It's like, doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, I'm sure he doesn't care.
He's pitched really well recently. We talked about last week, I think it was, but he lost like nine of his starts, and it looked bad in the win-loss. But I mean, I think there was Felix Hernandez for the Mariners a long time ago, not that long ago, but
Hall of Famer, 100%.
He won the Cy Young with the Mariners. I think it was the Mariners at the time.
Yeah, I don't think he played anywhere else.
I don't think so either. But it was when the Mariners were bad, and he won the Cy Young with a losing win-loss record, and it was kind of really out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I'm sure for the time that shook people up.
The first time that really happened, if I remember right.
Yeah. But King Felix, he deserved probably more Cy Youngs than he got.
In the American League, he was going against JV a lot of the time.
That's a good point.
Who else? Chris Sale. So.
But going off of wins, next we have saves. Saves are kind of fun. Like I said earlier, Cade Smith of the Guardians, I believe, still currently leads the league in saves. And this happens when your team is winning by 3 or less runs, or if the tying run is on base, at bat, or on deck when you get put into pitch.
There is one other way.
Oh, is there? Okay.
If you pitch, regardless of the score, if your team is winning 8-0, if you pitch the last 3 innings of a game, that's a save.
Okay, I had heard of that before, but I did forget. So yeah, saves once again, kind of circumstantial, but your best closers probably have the most amount of saves.
Yeah, and we've brought up saves quite a bit in the last couple of weeks and never really explained them. And yeah, saves, when you blow saves, it's not a good feeling. And
Mhm.
especially for the Tigers when we got Kenley Jansen, who is like third or fourth all time on the saves leader list with what he's doing. I mean, he's had a career of coming in the ninth inning and getting a save, shutting down the opposing team. And yeah,
Mhm.
saves are it's a cool, probably one of my favorite counting stats.
Yeah, yeah. And nowadays, a really, really good year would probably be 50 saves.
Yeah,
Is really, really good at the end of the year.
Tigers had a guy, I think 2011, Jose Valverde, 43 for 43.
Wow. No blown. Wow.
Yeah, and then I think he blew some in the postseason, and I think we lost. I don't,
Of course.
but that was 15 years ago. I don't remember all those numbers back then. I've seen them on Instagram at times.
One other quick little counting stat that not people really care about at all is a hold, which is a save, but the game's not over.
Yeah,
That's the easiest way to think
yeah,
about that.
like you come in the eighth inning and you're winning by 3 or less, and you keep the
Mhm.
game where it is. You
Yeah,
hold the
yeah.
game.
You keep it in a save situation,
Yeah,
but the game continues. That is a hold. So that's just another fun little counting stat that relievers get because relievers don't get a lot of love,
no, I don't.
simply.
They get a lot of hate if
A
they,
lot of hate.
and I've hated a lot.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But our next kind of really, really easy, not really, really easy because it still does have some nuances to it. But our next really well-known pitching staff will be ERA, which is earned run average per 9 innings. So simply put, you take the amount of earned runs that this pitcher is allowed, you divide it by 9. That's your ERA.
Yeah,
Just that easy.
yeah,
But the one nuance to this is the difference between a run scored and an earned run scored.
yeah,
And this gets weird. This
yeah,
gets weird. And I'm gonna be honest, I still don't fully have my head wrapped around it. So an unearned run. This is any run that happened because of an error. But not all errors,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because there is an error. Say your outfielder slightly whiffs a ball and a base runner makes the third instead of second. That is considered an advancement error,
yeah. Double with an error.
and doesn't actually calculate into the earned run average.
Yeah,
So really, really weird. I do have a fun page pulled up here. Maybe we can link this one just for our fans to look at because I'm not gonna really get into this one. But this is a fun page that is showing different baseball situations and basically telling you how many earned runs versus unearned runs. So, like one really good situation that I found in here is you have 2 outs in an inning. A guy pops up to a guy, and there's an error on the play. He should have caught the ball. He's not. He's safe. It's an error. Next batter up hits a home run. So this is weird. Neither of those are earned runs because the inning should have been over.
yep,
So if there was an error that prolongs an inning, every run after that technically goes as an unearned run and does not count towards a pitcher's ERA.
yep. And then errors are a big topic of discussion because what certain things are an error, certain things are an error, should be an error, and they get changed sometimes too. Like you'll hear the broadcast say, "Oh, that single in the third inning is changed to an error." And
At the end of the day, an error is entirely a judgment call. The game that I was watching earlier today, the Guardians White Sox game, there was, for my money, about 5 errors that the White Sox made, and in the books it was counted as 1.
yeah,
So it's entirely a judgment call. It affects your pitcher's ERA, which is a little unfair, and it really, really affects your ERA too. Especially, there was an example the other day with Jacob Mizorowski, where he had an error in an inning and then went on to allow 5 runs.
yep,
It was a iffy call. They considered it an error. All 5 of those runs were not earned runs against his ERA.
should have been it. Yeah, I don't think it was an error.
It should have. I mean, it went through his first baseman's glove.
But the guy I think would have been safe even if he caught it. That's why I
he
don't
would
think it
have.
would have been there.
He would have. But they counted it as an error, and none of
Yep.
those go against his ERA.
Yep.
So that's
why I look at
ERA.
other numbers, and I hope you'll bring those up.
Yes. We are going right into a slightly better one. This doesn't necessarily tell the full story, but this is WHIP, which is walks plus hits per innings pitched, and it literally is that easy. It is how many walks and how many hits a pitcher allows per inning pitched. Essentially, how many base runners does this guy allow per inning?
Yep.
Is the really, really easy way to look at it.
Yep. And anything under like a 1.2 is generally pretty good.
Yeah, under a 1 is your elite pitchers.
Yep.
They, on average, aren't even allowing a base runner per inning.
Yep. Skubal, I think, is right around there his last 2 years.
Yeah. I think Paul Skeens, his rookie year, had like a 0.7 WHIP.
Yeah,
it's just insane.
Yeah.
So WHIP is a very, very easy one, but that's one that you could pull out, and your friends would be like, "Whoa, WHIP, never heard of that." And then you explain it to them, you say it's really, really simple, and they think you're a genius.
Yeah.
That's a really, really fun one, really, really easy.
Next,
Marvin talked about this one earlier. This is FIP. FIP is fielding independent pitches. I'll go ahead and take this one. It's pretty simple.
So FIP basically it gets rid of the ball being put in play. It's basically what your ERA should be based on home runs, walks, and strikeouts.
Yeah, very, very simple. You see, for all of our viewers at home, I do have the formula pulled up here. It is a number. In this case, it's 13 times your home run plus 3 times your walks and hit by pitches minus 2 times your strikeouts. And then you add a FIP constant to that. And what your FIP constant does is it just makes it look more like ERA.
Yep.
It makes it look more familiar to our people. I don't have here written down what a good or bad FIP is, but essentially it's on the same scale as your ERA.
Yeah, like in general, you want your FIP to be better than your ERA. Like, I think of an ERA, a good ERA. Anything under 4 is good. Anything under 4 for your FIP is good.
Yeah, and for our astute viewers out there, you see it is minus 2 times K. So say you go out and you have an absolutely dominant start. You strike out 20 guys. You don't walk a single dude. You don't let up a single home run. You on the game have a negative FIP. That is possible.
We talked about this a couple months ago with Mason Miller, how he had a negative K.
Yeah,
because he was really good to start the year.
He was fantastic.
We were wondering how did he have a negative FIP, and we had to look it up to find it out because we didn't know the formula how that was even possible.
So FIP is kind of all the baseball nerds are trying to replace ERA with FIP essentially. Yep. FIP is like you remember how last week we were saying that OPS is the stat to be for batters. FIP is trying really, really hard to become the stat to be for pitchers.
Yep. But FIP is one of my favorite stats to look at.
It tells the more full story than just ERA does.
Yeah, we talked about Jack Flaherty with that a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. And like I was saying earlier, there's not a lot of pitching stats. So right now we're getting into the doozy. We're getting into WAR, wins above replacement for pitchers.
Yep.
And obviously last week, WAR for batters, that was an absolute doozy. This one is relatively easier.
I think their WAR is all calculated the same across all things as well. So there's not 2 different ones like there is for batting.
Only difference between Fangraphs and Baseball Reference's evaluation of WAR is that Fangraph uses FIP, which everybody loves, and Baseball Reference uses runs allowed per 9. Essentially ERA, but not earned runs, just runs. Period.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So by all means, FWAR, Fangraphs WAR is better. I think
preferred,
just straight up. But the one thing, really, really interesting. Baseball Savant uses runs allowed per 9, but then also calculates defensive runs saved by your team. So it's like, why not just use FIP at that point?
Strange.
If you're going to calculate for the defense and then calculate against the defense, just use a stat that doesn't use defense.
Yeah, weird.
But I digress. So FIP, we can scroll through this a little bit. It has a lot of a lot of steps to get to the answer that you want. So FIP, one really fun thing that I did learn about this is that in the WAR calculation, the FIP that they use is actually FIP including your infield fly balls. They consider an infield fly ball essentially a strikeout. It's a part of your strikeout equation.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, what else are you supposed to do with it? I guess.
Yeah.
So because they say you beat the guy, you got him to pop up. So yeah.
I mean, you could say same thing for a weak grounder that 6 hops to the shortstop, but yeah.
Yeah, but whatever.
Baseball's weird. We love it.
Baseball's so weird. So right here, we'll kind of go step by step really quick here. So you have your FIP, including your infield fly balls. And then after that, you would adjust it using league average runs per 9 and league average ERA. You add the difference of that to your FIP. You have FIP runs per 9. You take your FIP runs per 9. You essentially multiply that by your park factor, like we were saying last week with batting WAR. Every park, it's easier or harder to hit a baseball in. So they do adjust for that. Each park has a different park factor. We're not going to get too deep into that. Next step after that, you adjust it differently for your National or American League. Each league has a different run environment. This seems a little nuanced in today's day and age where you are playing every team at least twice.
And you have a DH now versus not having a DH.
So this seems a little unnecessary. So you take that number and that gives you your runs above average per 9. We'll throw that aside a little bit. So after you have your runs above average per 9 or RAP9, then you would get your dynamic runs per win. This is essentially the same as was done last week with your runs per win for your batters, but they make it a little bit harder because there's different roles as a pitcher. If you come into a game as a starter versus as a reliever, it's different.
Yeah.
So that takes into account basically how many innings you pitch. Replacement level, like we said last week, when we are saying wins above replacement, by replacement we mean someone that you are bringing up from the minor leagues. Because once again, an average player is not a replacement level player. Being average is good.
Yeah.
Being average gives you 2 wins above replacement on the season. So you take your average player. For a replacement level player, they break this once again up per starting and per relieving pitches. So if you are a full-time reliever, your replacement kind of coefficient is 0.03. If you're a starter, it's 0.12.
So if you see a reliever with a really high WAR, you don't see it very often. Anything above like 2 for a reliever, that is really good. We talked about 2 being average, but for relievers, if you're above 2, that's pretty damn good.
Essentially, this replacement level here, if you take a starter and a reliever and they have the exact same rate stats, a reliever would have to do 4 times as much to have the same amount of WAR as a starter, because a starter is just so much more valuable, simply.
Yep.
You would then scale that to the amount of innings pitched. Here's something that does help our relievers is they do take into account the leverage of the position. On average, your reliever is coming into a situation with a lot higher leverage, right? Yeah. Especially your closers, where you're there to either save or blow a game. That's really, really high leverage, and that is taken into account in the calculation. You would then take that correction from your average, and you would multiply it by your original quote WAR, and that gives you our final WAR. This is really, really jumbled. It's a step-by-step process. It's essentially, think of it as the same as it was for batters last week, where we get step by step our wins per inning pitched. You evaluate that on a league average basis. You correct like last week we were doing positional correction factors.
Mhm.
For this one, our positional correction factors is just reliever versus starter.
Yep.
And you have WAR basically.
Yeah, and WAR is the same thing as for a batter. It's basically a big one number to sum up how good you are.
Once again, the semantics don't really matter too much. No one's going to ask you, how do you calculate WAR? Well, someone might. And essentially what you have to say is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? You just say, hey, WAR is your one-stop shop for how many wins this guy is getting. And most people just accept that as the answer, right?
Yep.
Nobody really cares about the formula. You
Nope.
guys don't have to care about the formula. Just kind of understand what the stat means, and that's a win.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, pitchers don't really have a lot of fun stats like batters do. A lot of pitcher stats are what our batters doing against you, which refer to last week's batting stats for that. And there you go. There's our fun pitcher stats for the week.
Yeah, there we go. We appreciate Joe going into the numbers on some of them to help make it easier for us. So we're gonna jump into our final segment, our weekly predictions. So let's see, come on. Alrighty, so last week neither of us got any points. The Tigers went 5. We went 5-1. So I predicted 4-2. We went 5-1. I'm not going to complain about having a better record than what I predicted. And the Guardians went 3-4 versus 5-2. So we are still currently sitting at +1. So for next week, both the Tigers and the Guardians are off on Monday.
Perfect.
So why don't you start us out, Joe? On Tuesday, Joey Cantillo against the Mariners, Taj Bradley, or not the Mariners, the Minnesota Twins.
Joey has been really, really good as of recent. His curveball has really picked it up. It is just snapping off, looking absolutely nasty. I'm gonna give Joey that win on this week. Taj Bradley, that's probably the Twins' number 2. I'm not really scared of anybody except for Joe Ryan on the Twins, essentially.
Yeah. Yep. Slade Ciccone versus Connor Prelep? I don't even.
I don't think the Guardians have played the Twins yet, so I don't really know any of these guys.
You guys haven't played the Twins yet?
I don't think so. I don't think we played the Twins at all so far this year.
Surely you have. I
really don't think so.
Not playing the Twins in your own division. That's crazy.
The schedule is weird.
Baseball schedule is weird.
So weird. And I bet you we probably played 2 series against them within a month. Now that we haven't played them at all.
Oh yeah. We played both the Astros and the Yankees twice in the last month.
Wow.
Oh, it's crazy. Weird. So who do you got in this one?
I'll be nice and give a loss on that one just to kind of save myself a little bit.
Yep.
Gavin
versus Bailey Over. Bailey Over, he's very up and down. He's like he has like an 8 ERA and then he shoves for like a month and then he's a hard fantasy guy to have.
He is. Yeah. It seems like every time he's on my team is a down, unfortunately. Gosh, I would love to give Gavin that win. Yeah, I'm gonna give him the win. We got to take the series in the division.
Then you guys play Miami, and did you see the Miami guy today?
No,
Yuri Perez.
What happened?
So he had a perfect game through 7, and they pulled him because he was at like 90 some pitches.
Okay.
And immediately, the guy they brought in walked a guy, lost the perfect game, allowed a hit, lost the no-hitter, and then I think later allowed a grand slam.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
yeah, in hindsight, that's horrible.
Yeah. Messick versus Alcantara. We watched Alcantara. Skubal versus Alcantara. I don't think he's been as good as he was to start the year.
No, he hasn't. He definitely peaked after start number 2, I think, on the season, and then went back
like
to
a month of starts. Yeah.
Did he? Was it a full month? Okay.
I think it was like a month. Yeah. because everyone said, "Oh, he's back," and then the Tigers played him, and he was not back. That was a
No,
fun
you're
game.
probably
Coming out
never
of his
going to win a
first home
Cy
run.
Young again. Yeah,
No.
I'll take the win on that. Parker's getting that win for us.
Okay. Let's see. Baby versus. I went past it. Yuri Perez, the guy we just talked about. He'll be coming off 7 perfect innings.
Let's give the loss then. I hate giving Bobby losses, but unfortunately, I think we're losing that one.
He's a good young pitcher.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. Then Joey Cotillo versus Max Meyer.
Oh,
He's been really good. I think he's an all-star.
he's been really, really good. Yeah.
Right before the last game before the All-Star break.
We'll give that one a loss. For the sake of he's on my fantasy team. Max Meyer is, so let's get a win for the Fence Robbers here, boys.
3-3 is the prediction for this week.
We'll take
from
that.
Joseph. So for me, we've got Skubal. I mean, we need to look at who they're playing. We're playing the Athletics. Troy Melton versus Jeffrey Springs. Troy's been really good. We got to win. We're taking the win. Framber versus Jack Perkins. Don't really know Jack Perkins. I know Framber. I hope
those Athletics have been pretty good. Where are you guys at? Are you in?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's home. It's home.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna get
right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give us the loss just because to cover it for somewhere else in the week.
Yeah.
Jack against the Phillies. Jack's coming off a good start, so he's been good since he come off the injury list. I don't think he's allowed a run since he's been back. Then Casey Mize should have been an all-star. He's coming off a week where he went like 14 innings and allowed 2 runs.
Yeah.
We're winning. And Skubal, I think, is Skubal. We gotta sweep the Phillies. We gotta have the same week as what we did last week.
Okay.
If we want to get back out of the hole, being 10 games under 500, and I think we are 5 back of the wild card right now. So gotta keep winning. Gotta, as Skubal said, just gotta win. If you want the rumors to stop, just gotta win.
After a really, really good Tigers week, how are you feeling about the Skubal trade propositions?
I mean, I feel like we moved Montero to the bullpen because we have too many starters. Mm-hmm. JV's coming back whenever. Jack and Job whenever. I feel like if we trade him, as long as we don't trade everybody, we still have a good chance. But you have a lot better chance with the best player in baseball. I feel like you got to go one way or the other. You have to either go for it or sell everybody. Sell Jack Flaherty, sell Casey Mize, sell Gleyber Torres. I feel like if we rattle off 5, even 4 wins next week, we'd be close. We'd be 6 games under 500. That would be big.
These six games under 500 sounds bad, but the Central is still wide open.
The Central is wide open, and so is the American League. I don't even. I mean, like I said, we're 10 games under 500, and we are 5 back of the wild card. So the last wild card spot is 5 games under 500.
That is insane.
And the American League, I think the American League has 4 teams above 500. And I think the last wild card spot is the Rangers, who we just took 2 out of 3 from. So, I mean, we dug ourselves a big hole in May. We had a really good June. We gotta have an even better July.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean,
it'll be a really, really interesting trade deadline because a lot of times you get into July and you're like, oh, there's a seller, there's a buyer, and you look at the standings and you just know who's selling and who's buying.
Yep.
the entire league is just, for a lack of a better term, mid right now.
Yeah.
Everybody is on the same page.
Yeah. And things might come a little clearer because the deadline's in like August 3rd this year versus like
Oh,
July
that's late.
31st.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I mean I'm sure things might clear themselves up closer we get to it. But
Mm,
I hope. But the thing is, I think about it, it's like, so we are this close to the wild card. Do I think we have enough, even with trading, to fill the holes that we have? Like we need at least 3 relievers.
hmm
We need 2 right-handed bats,
hmm
and you're not going to go out and get that at the deadline. So it's like I don't feel like we could get enough to. I mean, we could get enough to probably help us get into the playoffs. But like, I mean, yeah, it's good to get in the playoffs to be 3 years in a row. It doesn't happen often. But like, do you really think you could compete for a World Series with this team?
Yeah. Is it worth giving up your farm system just for essentially just a playoff spot?
Yeah,
Kind of.
especially when you've got so much. In You got Skubal, you got Torres, you got Casey Mize, you got some relievers, you got I don't even know who else. There's a lot of key guys that you either re-sign them or
hmm
you got to fill them next year.
hmm
So
Yeah.
it's hard.
Essentially, just unfortunately, if you look on paper, like even just at the beginning of this year before it started, it looked like a sell year from the Tigers. You have a lot of big contracts coming to an end.
Well, it looked like a year you're either gonna push and buy is what we wanted. We were projected to win the
Of
Central,
course.
so at that point you're not selling. But you want it was our year to go for it with Scooble, and we didn't really do a whole lot in the off season to do it,
hmm
but we did a little bit. But it's really hard because we are in between of we could buy and we could make a run at it, but selling might be the smarter option.
I do just one more thing quickly. I know we're getting up there on time. I did ask Marvin outside of the podcast last week. This was an extreme example, but I said, would you take a 1-for-1 trade of Tarek Skubal for, say, like a Jesus Mate, who at the moment I believe is the #2 prospect in all of baseball, and
Yeah,
he didn't even skip a beat. He said yes, didn't even pretend to hesitate.
yeah. Basically, I mean, McGonigal was the #2 prospect in baseball. So, would you would you take would you trade Scooble for 8 years of Kevin McGonigal because we extended him?
hmm
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
it does hurt for our kind of casual fans. A lot of people would think, why in the world would you ever consider trading Tarek Skubal? But this is the last year of his contract, and he's going to be asking for minimum $30 million a year. I think that's
I would
fair.
expect at least 40 is what he's going to be asking for.
I think that's probably more realistic. So
Yeah,
essentially, it comes down to depending on what kind of trade you make. Would you? Marvin said this really well to me last week. Would you rather take Tarek Skubal for half a year and then lots and lots of money to keep him after that, or a brand new fresh guy that you have team control for 6+ years?
yeah,
And when you say it like that, it makes a lot of sense for why you would trade Tarek.
yeah, and
Unfortunately.
yeah, and there's also the thought of the CBA, which we're not touching on a whole lot, but that plays into the factor in the GM's head of what are we going to have a season next year?
hmm
What's how's team control next year going to look? Are we going to not have players for 6 years? Can you is the school that for 40 million a year like not even feasible? There was a proposal where that would not even really be possible because of certain things.
That I don't see a world where the
Yeah,
players agree to that.
yeah, me neither.
The players are never going to agree to pay them less money.
Yeah,
That's not going to happen.
yeah, but it's still a thought in his head. It has to be.
hmm
So as much as it would be fun to run a major league team, I mean, I would not. That would be a one headache.
Unless
It'd be-
you're say the Dodgers that just seemingly have infinite money, then that sounds like a great time. Yeah, sign everybody with no thought of consequences, guys.
Yep. Sign everybody, trade your farm system, and still have the top farm system.
Mhm.
Somehow get prospects back in your trades that end up being top 100 prospects.
Yeah, one manager out there, or one GM, or one owner is having a lot of fun. Everybody else is struggling.
Yep.
But
So
hopefully with the All-Star break coming up soon, we're gonna have a whole week of no Tigers or Guardians game. Maybe we could spend that episode really talking about possible the agreement between the owners and the players coming up this offseason, and maybe some trade talks. That could be a pretty fun thing to do during our off week. But
yep.
essentially,
So
we're running a little long, unfortunately.
Yep. Next week will be a normal week, and then the following week is when the All-Star break. So we might throw a little All-Stars talk in there a little more next week, but we'll see. And yeah, we did go a little long this week, and kind of surprising for the little lack of planning. But you can find us here on YouTube, on Spotify, Swingin Bunt, a baseball podcast, and like, comment, subscribe. Anything from you, Joe?
As always, is we're here, we're swinging as hard as we can. If we miss, we miss. If it's a swinging bunt, it's a swinging bunt, and that's what we're here for, baby.
Yep. Peace, guys.